Hi guys, welcome to this week's Jane Talks. The week has gone by really quickly for me. Been all over the place emotion-wise, lots of things going on, some things heartbreaking, happy, sad, all over the place. It's got me thinking a lot about our youth. I was going to say children. I guess we always think of our kids as our children. Some people think that signifies a younger child. I'm not a big fan of all different wordplay, so if you can just bear with me. I've been thinking about our children and the importance of communicating feelings, understanding that we're all normal and that for the most part we can identify with each other on an emotional level. We can all identify with, to greater or lesser degrees, with most emotions. And I think that it's important to communicate about that with each other, adult to adult, adult to child, child to adult, and to listen and be curious about what we're feeling. A friend of mine passed away this past week. She was a couple years older than me. She lost her battle to cancer, and she's got 2 boys. And, you know, they're not the only ones. There's so many people who have experienced loss or who are fighting cancer or illness or marriage breakups or abuse. There's so many things that we all have to deal with. And I wish, for me, I've been thinking about, I had such a happy childhood, grew up in a loving home, loving parents. Sure, I was the normal rebellious little brat where, you know, I thought my parents weren't good enough, and complained about the decisions they made, if they wouldn't let me do what I wanted. But for the most part, I was happy, and I didn't have to experience any of the trauma that I see around me. And I'm very, very thankful for that. Not that I haven't had my share of heartache and heartbreak, but I think in that way, it was only in the last 5 years that I lost my grandparents. So I was lucky enough to have most of my family around me for most of my life, thus far, and I think that's unusual, and I don't think I appreciate that. I think I take it for granted, as I'm sure most of us who haven't experienced loss do. But I've been thinking how, as a teenager, I often felt out of place and that I didn't fit in. And I wonder if I would have talked about that more, if I would have come to realize that I wasn't so alone and I wasn't so weird. I was afraid to express myself because I was afraid people would think I was weird. But when I see now, you know, you hear this saying, if I knew now I forget it. If I only knew then what I know now. And the thing is, we don't. We don't unless we go through it. And oftentimes, even when our parents do communicate with us about it, we can't seem to follow it or take it all in. But it does come back when you're going through something and you realize, oh, that's what mom meant, or oh, that's what dad meant, or that's what this person meant. And that's fine. But I still feel like it's really, really important to communicate. And when I think about the loss that some people experience, especially youth, I hope that they have the strength and courage that I didn't to communicate and to know that they're not alone, and that there are so many people who share and who are willing to share, whether it be a shoulder to cry on, an ear to listen. We're all here. We're all taking the same journey. And for me, I really want to be mindful about that, to try and be open and caring and and give back. Have a good week.